So Doc, what exactly is a bud box and how does it work?
That's a fantastic question, Generic Rancher Ron. A bud box is a portion of cattle handling facilities that was designed by the late, great Bud Williams. Bud Williams was a master at observing cattle behavior and designing systems and cattle handling techniques that used the animals' natural tendencies in order for them to move through the facilities and through the pastures, or pens for that matter, in a low-stress manner. Now, the bud box itself is a portion of a cattle facility that allows you to take cattle from a wider alley into a single file alley. This is something that typically replaces the crowding tub that many of us are more familiar with. Now, in order to describe how a bud box works, I'm going to use something revolutionary. An actual box. Okay, so here's our happy little cattle moving down our alley this way. We'd like to run them into a loading alley that is single file line going this way. These cattle are going to have the tendency to want to come back where they came from. So in order to give them an impetus to do that, they're going to run into a wall. You now see we have this square. This square is the bud box. These cattle will come into this bud box with momentum and see they can't get out of here. So they're going to want to turn around and come back the way they came from. However, our handler of these cattle was smart. What he did was he shut the gate. Now these cattle, as they come back around, see that the gate is shut where they did come from. However, there's this handy little alley they can go down. So what do? Load down this alley in a single file line so that they can either load onto a truck or perhaps move through a chute for the working that we're going to end up doing on these animals. This right here is what you call the bud box. Yeah. Now, compared to the crowding tub, the bud box has a few advantages. One big advantage is the fact that it's much less expensive. You can build a bud box with a few portable panels and some steel posts, which is really handy if you need to have a portable system to go from pasture to pasture to work calves. Another advantage of a bud box over a crowding tub is that it works with the way the cattle want to move. I know that seems kind of hard to understand just by listening to it, but if you watch cattle when they move through a bud box system versus when they move through a tub, when you shut the gate to the tub, those cattle turn around and look at you, not down the alley where you want them to go. When you shut the gate to a bud box, you're in the pen with the animals. They look at you and then walk around you, going down the alley where we'd like them to be. Now that highlights what would be considered the biggest disadvantage to most folks with the bud box, is that you actually have to be in with the cattle when they go down the alley. I would counter though that cattle that are more steamed up have more momentum. This means that they're going to be more apt to run around you and go down the alley than those that are slower and pokier, which have more of a tendency to kind of hang up in the bud box and not want to move. If you're considering building any sort of a cattle handling facility, feel free to reach out to one of us at Sioux Nation Ag Center. We've worked with a lot of different cattle producers across a wide area, so we know things that have worked well and things that haven't worked so well. Before you invest the money in a new facility, it's best to make sure that you do it the way that's going to work right for you. Let's face it, it's a lot less expensive to build it right the first time. Saving you money through good advice is one way that Sioux Nation Ag Center is there for you to help feed your bottom line. Now, if you'd like to get more money-saving tips or get more advice about different products or services, take the time to like and subscribe to this video series. This is one of several videos where we answer different questions that good old Generic Rancher Ron has that you might have as well. So you take care, like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the flip side. I bet my lip. Ow. That hurt.